Hey guys, Captain C.A here from FlatsClass YouTube, and we've got something special for you on this episode. That's right. Instead of fishing, we're going gator hunting. That's why I brought the extra heavy rod setups back here. We're headed down to Lake Okeechobee, and we're going to be fishing with a regular that we have on FlatsClass television, and that's John Crush from Sodium Fishing. He's pulled some tags. We're going to go down there. We're going to try and show you some really cool stuff that you've never seen on FlatsClass. So, I'm about ready to throw my duffel bag in the back of this truck, slam the tailgate shut, and head south. Follow us. This episode of FlatsClass YouTube is brought to you by Aquatraction, your go-to solution for advanced marine flooring. Doesn't look like
You ready?
gator hunting yet.
Oh, that had to be good.
Pretty awesome. John, what are you doing, bud?
Just filling out some paperwork, making sure we're good to go with the
With the FWC?
FWC boys. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
They
Gotta
can be
make
out
sure
there tonight.
we're legit. That's
We're
right.
legit. So as you can see, once we arrived at camp, there was a lot of fun to be had. We were all excited. We all wanted to get on the hunt that evening. There was some paperwork that John had to flesh through, and we had to get some gator agent handling licenses done and whatnot to do this, because this was part of a television show. But we also wanted to shoot a quick YouTube so you could see kind of what was going on. So we're cutting up, having a lot of fun, hanging out at the camp. There was all kinds of people there. But eventually we got down to the ramp, as you saw, and then the real adventure started. Check this out while I get some of the tackle ready and break that down for you next. Night one of gator hunting with Sodium John.
Can I borrow you for some of that, Mr. Braxton?
No, sorry. You didn't bring your own?
I did.
What of an operation do you think we're running here?
Bug spray is necessary.
I think I just got it in my drink.
And now your
Perfect.
lips
How's that
numb.
taste?
I did the
Perfect.
same. I sprayed my face, and next thing I'm like, I can't feel my lips. Shit.
Yeah? Got him right? First cast Wesley. What? Got him. Damn sure got him. Look at it. All right, give me your ass. I gotta kiss it.
Nice job, Wes.
That ain't first cast West. That's what they call him.
Got to do it with a big motor running. Got to do it with a big motor running.
How big is he? What trolling are he's probably
He's about the same size as Ben Catcher.
Yeah.
He's what, bigger than the one on the boat?
He's a Godzilla.
Yeah, a little bit bigger.
Get him a little closer and then we'll do something with this one.
You want that up there? Which one?
He's right here.
Spotlight him.
There, buddy? This is too easy. I'm already up here, huh?
Oh, yeah. You want to find him over on this side.
Oh, on the right.
Yeah, right over there.
Hook didn't grab the jaw. Where is the hook? I don't know where the hook is.
It was up underneath
may
his
be off.
neck.
You want me to let him
Yeah, but I got 9 yards of line wrapped around him.
What do you think? What do you think? Cut the line first. What do you think? What do you want?
Keeper,
It's up to you guys.
the inch from the eyeball to the snout is definitely
Yeah. Like,
probably 8 feet.
Let him go. Let him go.
All right, so the first night was kind of a success. I mean, getting our feet wet doing this. Because we were filming for FlatsClass 2022, we ended up, you know, not showing everything that we did that evening, but it was super exciting to get a gator all the way to the side of the boat. We ended up hooking 5, actually. Got that gator to the side of the boat. When it came to the side of the boat, John and the guys decided, listen, it's not going to be big enough for us to really harvest, and all we had was a snare on it, and we had them hooked up in the line. And let's talk about this tackle a little bit. We had them hooked up with a snatch hook. Now, when you're snatch hooking these gators, you've got to have a piece of equipment, because you're not fighting the gator and reeling them all the way in. You're literally trying to hold on to them and keep the line taut, if you will. And the boat moves to the gator before we can determine whether we're going to harvest it or how we're going to handle the situation. So here's what we were using. We were using a Shimano Saragossa 8000. It's packed with 40 pound, that's right, just 40 pound Power Pro Super Slick V2. I tie a bimini twist, a long bimini twist all the way down, and then I Palomar 5 times the actual snatch hook. Now you might say, so why 40 pound instead of something like 60 or 80? Well, casting distance matters, and you got to be accurate. So when the gator's head is like this on the surface, if you will, it kind of looks like that. You're trying to, you see how my arm hangs down? Well, that's kind of the way the gator's body goes down. They're not always just flat, flat. They kind of hang like that. So you got to try to get that snatch hook behind its neck so it'll get it up underneath the arm or here in the shoulder where you have a little control. You don't want to hook them in the tail. That happens. But having 40, it allows you to make a super long cast and a little bit. And Bowen, who is our guide, was lighting these fish up with an infrared. And then when we were ready to cast, he'd hit it with the bright light and it would give us an opportunity to make a good cast. They were long casts, and I'm glad I had 40. Now, the rod we were using was a Shimano Terramar Double X. This is the same rod that I tarpon fish with. I inshore grouper fish with. I fish around, bridge impoundments and things like that when we're tackling big snook and we've got to get them out of current. This is an 8-foot here. I'll show you the specs here, guys. There's the specs on that rod, so you can check it out online at Shimano.com. But this is basically the setup we use: an 8-foot extra heavy action rod, 8,000 size reel with 40 pound braid, and tie some doggone good knots. All right, back to the action. Next morning we got up, seemed like I never got any sleep, had a quality breakfast, as you'll see. And then we hunted that morning. So I'll show you a little bit of the run stuff from running through the marsh, and I'll be back with the next transition.
Going to those palm trees. Right, man.
So we got up super early, did everything we thought we were going to need to do, and we worked our tails off that morning, and we never got a gator. But we saw the gator that we wanted. About a 12 and a half to 13 foot gator, according to the guys on the boat, and they know what they're doing. So big gator, kind of intimidating. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's kind of intimidating when you think we're gonna lay a 12 to 13 foot gator that is not happy with us right up next side of this boat. Ooh, little spooky. And I definitely wanted to do it during the daytime. But as fate would have it, that didn't work out. And you could see how far back in the thicket we were. We're running through bulrush and cattails and roseau and lily pads. And every time it seemed like we stopped the boat, we had lizards and frogs and who knows what in the boat. I'm shocked we didn't have any snakes in the boat. But so we got some rest that day and prepared a pretty big feast, and then went back out at 5 o'clock and made a sunset run to go look for a gator for the following night. And all I kept thinking is, if we're gonna tangle with that big a gator, I wanna make sure that we get this gator while the lights are still on. And as you'll see, God willing, we did. Go check this action out, and I'll be back to wrap all this up. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right. Let's hope he doesn't crawl off. Might want to crawl off. Why don't you camera guys, why don't you guys just like sit on him? He's like a nice big love seat.
Yeah, I'll show you here.
Tag's got to go in.
Go all the way
This one's
in,
harvest, 10 footer.
Like, yeah, like somewhere
Right in there. That's a good one. Make sure you're filming this, guys.
Yeah, that is the cool part. As long as I don't get cut. Oh shit, I'm not liking that.
Knife going through you too.
I got a bigger knife if you need it.
Y'all got that mouth tape good, yeah? All right, cool.
He might back kick you. He might drop kick you off though.
A mule kick my ass off the boat. You know what I can do?
I think there's one up underneath you.
Is there?
It might be there or on the other side. The other side.
Here, can you hold mine?
I can do that.
I can hold this camera.
Back at camp, and the fruits of our labor, and I do mean labor. Took like 3 of us to subdue this gator that taped out close to 11 feet.
Pretty sure we just fucked the ball.
Unbelievable. What an adventure. And we shot it all lateral media for FlatsClass.
It is. There really wasn't no holes in it except for like where the harpoon stuff was.
His mouth is all getting this and all kind of teeth.
Well, we never got the 12 to 13 footer. We saw it one time that afternoon, and we were patient, and we waited and we waited, and we had spread everything out, and we thought we knew what we were doing, and we were definitely going to get a shot at that gator. But evidently, gators don't get that big being dumb. So we bided our time, if you will. Waited and waited, and about maybe 45 minutes to an hour before it really got dark, Well, we ended up getting a runner-up gator, but the runner-up gator was pretty impressive. 11 feet long, just under 11 feet long. It was missing a section of its tail, so it was probably a legit 11-footer. I mean, when we laid him across the deck of the boat, he literally hung over, the deck of the boat, widthwise, beamwise. It was incredible. But had Wesley out there with us. We had Casey out there with us. But the real, I guess, credit to our success would have to go to Braxton Bowen, the owner of the camp and the boat, and to Captain Randy Rhines. Their expertise in gator hunting is really what made all of this a lot of fun. And for those of us cutting our teeth doing it, it made it a lot safer. It really did. Impressive gator, impressive environment, and really gives you an appreciation for those animals. They are hardcore, they are angry, and it takes a little bit more to subdue one of those than you would think. But in the end, the gator was cleaned and skinned, and hides going to the tannery, and all the meat was butchered and cubed and bagged and vacuum packed and divvied up between all the guys. So all in all, a super success. I hope you really enjoy what we do here at FlatsClass. It's not just about our podcast and our television show and our FlatsClass universities that we put on here, and fishing tips and product reviews. We do that all the time. But we do like to put these small pieces of adventure in every now and then, and this was definitely that. It's cut up a little bit, but I'm sure you guys enjoyed it and got the gist of how much fun the hunt really was. Until next time, Captain C.A. Richardson, signing off.